I want you all to imagine this. You're walking down a corridor. Now that corridor is like dark. One side there are classes, like line-wise classes. Each class is very big. And each class has two tube lights. Alright, so the light coming from those classes is not a lot. On the other side, you see the sky. The sky is not really in a good mood. It's like red, dark, cloudy, sun's not visible. So basically the whole situation is very gloomy. Then a girl walks by you. Now as a sign of respect, as a sign of kindness, you give her a very kind smile as a greeting, alright? And you expect another smile in return. But what you get is a face. A very bad made up face. You're annoyed but you don't say anything. And she goes by. Now that girl who just came by you, let's name her something. Okay, say Anna? Yes, Anna. So let's name her Anna. So now the situation changes. You were in a play area. The sky is good, the area is good. A lot of children are playing. There are swings, we have seesaws, slides, and different things. Alright, so you again see Anna, but she doesn't see you. So with your eyes, you follow her every move. And you see how she snatches the seat from others and she's making faces, shouting at people for no apparent reason. And you're confused here. What is exactly happening? Then by some way or the other, you learn things about her. You learn that she sleeps during classes, she doesn't talk to people, she is not a good person, she doesn't work, she has a permanent scar on her face all the time. So you feel alright. Now let us learn about a story about her. Now they had an important exam once, alright? Anna of course hadn't studied. So what she did, she cheated from the girl beside her. Now the girl beside her was Elsa, right? Now Elsa is like the scholar. Straight A's, always does her work on time. So her paper was, supposed to be good. So this was an advantage to Anna. So she took full advantage of this, right? Now first Elsa didn't notice it. Then after a few minutes, she looked up and she saw Anna. She was angry. So what she did was, she confronted her quietly and said, "Hey, why are you copying from me?" Now here, Anna flushed so red, even a tomato would be shy in front of her. But she had to say something back, so she said back, "What does that have to do from you? Just do it, I want to see the answer." "I'm not letting you copy now." "Oh, come on, what does that have to do with you? Just do it." Now Elsa was angry and annoyed. So she did what any goody-good student would do. She told her Anna. Yes. So then Anna was scolded, her parents were called, she was not allowed to do the paper. The regular all happened. The end. Now you all must be thinking that the girl who sleeps during classes, never does her work on time, and shouts randomly at people deserves such a punishment. So now let me let you in on a secret. That girl who you think is wrong, that's me. Yes, that Anna, that's me. But do you know why I did this? Now during that time, my relative was hospitalized. My parents had gone out due to business work. My sister was in college, so that left me to go to the hospital and give whatever had to be given. I had no time to sleep, to study, and that made me frustrated. I was a teenager. I was bound to have mood swings. So I was frustrated because of it, and I had no option. I had to sleep in class. I had to cheat in exams because I had been given a final warning. And above that, people taunted me, said stuff to me. So I said back. I took all the frustration, the anger out. Now you all must be thinking, why was I so dramatic just because I was stressed? Guys, an octopus eats himself when it's stressed. Now that's over dramatic. What I mean to say here is, how we think about a particular person depends upon who is telling it. Let me ask you something. When I finished the actual story, you categorized Anna as a bad child, didn't you? But after my perspective, Anna's perspective, your take in the tale changed. A little change maybe? But yes, it did. This is what I mean. Let me make you relatable. What if you're reading Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs from the Evil Queen's perspective? Or you're reading Rumpelstiltskin from his perspective? Maybe you're reading Harry Potter from Voldemort's perspective. You may get to know that he did what he did because he was jealous of the nose. You never know. That's exactly what I mean. Now, before I continue upon this, I want to tell you how I came across this. So basically, I was reading this story by Chris Colfer called The Land of Stories. Right? So it's a story about two twins who journey across the land of stories, which is the land of classic fairy tales. And during that time, during that set of 6 books of their journey, this backstory of each and every villain of these classic fairy tales is given. When I had finished these, this idea came to me. That I had always assumed Cinderella's stepmother, the enchantress, evil queen, Snow Queen, and even Rumpelstiltskin to be bad, to be like perfectly evil. But when I read these 6 books, when I read why they exactly did this, my perspective changed. And that change which happened in me, I want it to happen in each and every one of you. And that is why I'm here today. So I'll start with the most simple tale, which is Cinderella. Villain, her evil stepmother. Why did she do it? Now we all know that Cinderella had a father who the stepmother married, right? And the father died soon after. But what we don't know is that her stepmother loved her father so much that when he died, she was overtaken by grief. She was overtaken by grief, and Cinderella, who was a perfect copy of her father in personality, by face, she was near her. So the stepmother was so, in such a mode that she just pushed Cinderella away. She made her do the work so that her face was covered in cinders and she wasn't near her. You all must think this is wrong. Yes, it is. But what we don't understand here is that she did what she did because of love and not hatred. And that is what we need to understand. Let me take another example. The enchantress who cursed Sleeping Beauty. Now you all must think that of course a person in their right mind would never curse an infant to death. And I totally agree. A person in their right mind. But Enchantress wasn't in her right mind. She was under a curse. A very powerful curse. Which made her do things she didn't want to. Now, that is why she did this. You must still be asking me that she was cursed by somebody. Then why aren't they wrong? Why aren't they evil? She was cursed by the Snow Queen. But the Snow Queen was not herself. You may be confused. Let me explain. Do you believe any person to be 100% good or 100% evil? No. We all have done something bad. Like we've stolen, we have wished ill of somebody, we have lied, we have done something wrong according to the ethics. Do we call ourselves bad, evil, or a villain? No. We are just people who let the good in them control their evil. The Snow Queen was just another example. She let the evil in her control her good. And that is her story. Now here I would like to quote Keeper of the Lost Cities Never Seen. Sophie Foster is talking about a villain and she says, he's not all bad. No one is. That is what makes villains so scary. They're not as different from us as we want them to be. And I want to tell you all this only. There is no evil, and if there is no evil, there is no good, because we can't compare the good deeds with anything. And we all need to understand this. We all need to understand that villains are just people with difficult circumstances, and we are also people with circumstances. I would like to end this by quoting Chris Colfer from The Land of Stories. A villain is just a victim whose story hasn't been told. I will let you think about it. Thank you.